don't remember that.
All right.
John got mad at me one day, and he had this little stitching outfit.
It's a little fork
yeah,
shaped like this, real sharp, with a handle on it.
and he chucked it at me, and he stuck it up in my arm. And I pulled it out and said, well, look what you did. And he never got in trouble for nothing. In fact, what would happen was, he was supposed to help me with the dishes every night, because there were just the two of us. And he would mess around, and finally I'd just slug him, and he'd go bawling, and I'd have to do dishes all by myself.
Wait a minute,
I've heard that many times.
I did more dishes than you did.
Well, that was after I was gone.
Yeah, and then we had the dish, I did the dishes for all these years with Robert, and then when Janet's finally old enough to do dishes, we get a dishwasher. So.
Yeah.
Women work together, huh?
The boys did dishes till they were 14.
Yeah.
Well, that's what our older kids did.
Yeah.
Well, our dishwasher didn't clean very well, and Doug was so put out with a dishwasher, and of course, how would your kids learn how to do work if the dishwasher didn't? And so they learned how, and they were told if they didn't know how to do it. And so I think it wasn't until we remodeled that we had a dishwasher again.
It was a long time.
Yes.
We used to flip each other with the dish towels and the washcloths, and we were good at that.
And the first time that I went to Mom's house was at Easter time. They had big dinner, and Mom didn't think I ate very much because I came from a family of girls, and she told Doug that, asked him if I didn't like their food because I just took what I thought was a regular size
Mom was
serving.
120 pounds in those days.
He's talking about me. And so then it was time to do the dishes. And I can't remember who flipped Janet with the dish towel, but I hadn't seen that. I didn't have any brothers, and I thought they were just cruel to Janet to do that.
I'm sure it was Robert.
Oh.
Was a senior in high school, and they had the road show, and they had convinced Robert to be it, and he was the big oak tree, and so for the whole, what was it, road show, he had his arms out like this and a hat with the leaves coming out of it, and there were squirrels and gophers. Every person was an animal, but I think Mom was really pleased that Robert would consent to be in the roadshow.
Yeah. He was the star pupil that day.
Who convinced him, man, Audrey?
Oh. Betty
Blair?
Betty Blair there.
Probably Janet.
Kenworthy? White boy. And Robert had a part in here, and they're supposed to do painting. And so to make it real, they went and bought some ice cream and let it melt, and then they painted with that.
In the roadshow?
Yeah, they really lived it up.
They were painting each other, or what?
No, just whatever they had to paint. But they really made it look real. That was so cute.
In fact, she was talking about Robert being in the road show as a tree or something. He was a senior in high school.
Star
Because he was 6'5", you know, or whatever.
It was Betty Blair that wouldn't take no for an answer.
And that one little girl was the something, and she was so tiny.
Sunio, she was an acorn.
An acorn?
And Robert was the tree.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you have anything you want to...
About that?
Wait, say it again?
Our grandpa Jensen was he liked to make things out of wood, and he made us a dandy rocker when we were living on 48 South. We had this big porch out in front, so
as big as this table, and go rock back and forth.
It was what, 6-8 feet wide, and then it was just like a teeter-totter, but it was just rounded, so you just go back and forth, and then you had a broomstick handle you could hang on to. It was really a fun thing to work with.
When that kids made a fire under the hill, it got burned. That's what happened to it.
If you could make those again, it's pretty simple.
How do you get the curve of the wood?
Oh, it's like this, the wood.
Okay, we're talking about Janet's birthday parties. I always told about the best one I had when
Tell them about the
baseball.
tea party, Janet.
Oh, everybody had to dress up in a formal, and then we had a fashion show and a tea party, and
How old were you?
grade school.
Jeff,
Was this Grandma's idea or what?
Your shoes
Oh
off.
yeah, she. And then the
Feet off.
hobo party, we had to go around the neighborhood and get food for our dinner, and then she had different stations where you could go get a shave. She gave us beans. We had to go around and get a shave and get our feet washed and different things. But even now, when I run into people, they remember my birthday parties. It's just amazing. I mean, who remembers a birthday party that they went to? They still talk about it. For her chicken dinners, and I think that she made it up.
Oh, so she had at least 2 weeks in December.
We'll have to ask Janae about that. But you had, first you had to get down on your hands, your knees with your hands behind your back. And then she'd have you say the chicken prayer with your nose touching the ground. And the chicken prayer is, I know my heart, I know my mind, I know that I stick up behind her. That's the chicken prayer. And then you'd have to drink like a chicken does. So you'd have a straw and get a little bit of water in the cup and then drain it down your throat and do it again. You have to do that. And then she'd come out with the corn pops and the tricks and just here, yeah, doing the whole thing. Always spread out a sheet so you won't eat on the ground.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, Janet had gone, a month over my due date. A whole month, and I was getting desperate. We had company. Let's see, what were their names?
Carolee and Dave?
Carolee and David were there visiting, and I finally got the kids to bed, and I sat down to relax, and I had taken a whole bottle of castor oil, and I was really cleaned out. I was desperate, and so I realized I was in labor, so we got over to the little maternity hospital.
On 56?
Yeah.
On 56 South. And the nurse said, oh, we don't have time to shave her, and to get her in the delivery room. And so they took me in the delivery room, and that's all I remember, because in those days they gave you gas. And I would suck it in as good as I could. And one time the doctor would say, don't be such an eager beaver. But I just breathed it in as best I could. And that's all I remember.
Talk about when you got castor oil as a kid.